Hey y'all, welcome back to the Tired of Thinking podcast, where we think less and talk more about this crazy life. I'm your host, Golden Girl, and I hope everybody is doing well. So let's just jump right into it, you guys. I have a lot of things on my mind, as always. The entire reason I have this podcast, as you know, think less, talk more. Don't keep it stuck up here. Find a way to get it out. That's why we're here, Tired of Thinking podcast. I'm your host, Golden Girl. Again, let's do it. So don't really have that many life updates right now. Oh, I do have a few life updates, a major one, but I'm going to save it for the very end of this episode because I have so many things on my mind right now. Got so many things on my mind, tired of thinking about them. So let's just put it out, get it out there. Don't keep it stuck up here. And I also encourage you guys to also do the same. Don't keep things stuck in your head. Find a way to get it out, whether it's by talking or venting or journaling or whatever your thing is. Find a way to get those thoughts out. Thank you. Or you can do it here in the comments or on my TikTok or on my Instagram. It's always a safe space to vent and talk about this crazy life because I already know how it is. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot about attachment styles, and only because I noticed that I am not as much of an anxious attachment style as I thought I was. I feel like I notice I'm anxious when I actually engage with other people, but for the most part, I kind of am veering towards the more avoidant attachment style. And I feel like I'm more avoidant because of my ex. I know I'm blaming a man for my issues. Love that for me. But no, like genuinely, I think my last relationship just... I don't want the first thing that we're talking about to be about like men and dating and relationships right now. So we'll come back to that conversation. But I do also, to piggyback off of that, because I've had so many things to say, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, I've had so many things on my mind. I feel like I haven't really been able to fully process my thoughts, and I haven't been fully processing things. And for the past month or so, I have been struggling with my sleep. I have been super anxious. I've had a lot of racing thoughts. I have just been super on edge. I have not been feeling in tune with my body. And then I asked myself, what is going on? What have you done differently in your life? Girl, you haven't been journaling. I have not been journaling. Anytime I don't journal, my life literally, it combusts and it falls apart. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that sounds so dramatic, but genuinely, when I'm not journaling, my mental health suffers. I'm just more anxious. I have a lot more racing thoughts. My sleep suffers. I feel like I have just more unprocessed thoughts just buzzing through my mind. My sleep suffers. Everything is just a little bit out of whack. I'm out of my baseline. I'm not in my equilibrium. I am just I don't feel, And it's so funny because anytime I feel like this, basically I am back journaling, and I feel like I want to talk a little bit about journaling and why I find it so soothing and why I find it so helpful and why I find it so beneficial for my mental health. I don't genuinely, I'm not here to judge anybody, but I don't understand how people don't have some type of avenue to get their thoughts out, whether it is journaling or doing other things. I just feel like having a way to process your thoughts is just so cathartic. So what do I know? Honestly, I'm just a girl. Actually, I'm not just a girl. I'm also I don't know. I just feel in another life, far, far away, I feel like I probably would have been a journalist. I have always loved the liberal arts. I've always loved reading, writing, creating stories, writing things down. I've always been good at that. And I do feel like if I weren't in the field that I'm in right now, I definitely would have taken the more liberal arts path. And I feel like I'm not going to say I have any regrets because I still write daily, often, in a lot of different ways. And I've always written, whether that's blogging or writing poetry, creating short stories, creating scripts. I've also done some freelance writing as well. And I really enjoy writing. So anyways, so that's not the only reason why I love journaling. It's also so good for your mental health. And honestly, I just feel like we need to stop overcomplicating journaling. Stop overcomplicating journaling, my friends. Honestly, sometimes prompts really do help, but a lot of times I really just go straight off the dome. I just freestyle a lot of my journaling sessions. I usually start about talking about my day, processing my day, or I'll just go straight into something that bothered me, a situation that triggered me, and then I just spiral and go from there. But I just feel like I know like sometimes people are like, what do I write about? Like write about anything. Like journaling is so healthy for you. It's such a good way to get your thoughts out, such a good way to process things. If you're ever feeling stuck in your life and you need like a way to like you want to talk to somebody, but you don't even have the words to discuss it yet. I think also journaling is great for that too, because you're literally talking to yourself, you're processing things with yourself. And I know some of y'all are like, oh, my hand and my brain, they can't keep up with each other. My thoughts are racing way too fast for me to be able to write all these things down and process my thoughts. Like, how are you doing that? And that's the entire point of journaling. It forces you to slow those thoughts down and process them and really like look at them and really that's the that's like literally it. So if you ever feel like your hand is not keeping up with your brain or not keeping up with your thoughts, maybe that is just an opportunity for you to just slow those thoughts down. You're going to get to them. You're literally putting your racing thoughts onto paper. It is a cathartic release. You're putting your thoughts onto paper. So don't overcomplicate journaling, guys. It's not that deep. Just find a way to get your thoughts out. Find a way to process our thoughts. I think a lot of us are just walking around with just so many unprocessed things, so many unprocessed thoughts, so many unprocessed traumas, so many unprocessed energy, unprocessed interactions, experiences, just things that have happened in our lives. And I just feel like a lot of us would feel a lot lighter if we just found a way to process our stuff. And to piggyback off of that, we know that, but we ain't doing it. A lot of us are not doing it. A lot of y'all are not processing your thoughts. Y'all are not talking about how you're feeling. Y'all are not talking about what's going on in your mind. Y'all are not talking about what's bothering you or what's making you happy or what's like, you're not doing it. So like, yeah, that sounds so simple for me to say, like, we got to process our thoughts, but it's so simple, but why aren't we doing it? Okay. So don't come in my comments talking about something, oh, duh, like, why is she saying so simple things? Like, I know y'all wouldn't do that, but I just feel like sometimes like the things that I say are so simple, but like sometimes I maybe gaslight myself into thinking like, duh, like your audience knows that. People know that. That's like common sense. But then you realize people, they may know these things, but they aren't implementing them into their lives. So anyway, to piggyback off of what I was just talking about, processing your thoughts, I also want to add a little devil's advocate, a little bit of the classic tired of thinking flair of sometimes we don't have to do anything about our thoughts. We don't have to do anything about the way that we feel. I feel like I actually made a TikTok about this the other day on my personal account. By the way, follow me on TikTok. I have a pod TikTok and I also have a personal TikTok account. I was talking about how a lot of people are just going through this life so numb. Y'all aren't feeling nothing. I'm sorry. I just realized I was not looking at the actual camera. I've been looking at the viewfinder. So we'll see how that looks, but forgive me, please. I'm just a girl. Oh, speaking of camera, I have a camera now. I will talk more about that towards the end of this episode because I don't want to lose my train of thought. When you are able to get these thoughts out, you are able to feel lighter. You are able to be free. And I am an advocate for freedom. I'm an advocate for emotional freedom because I do think a lot of us are just slaves to our emotions, slaves to our thoughts. And it's like, you could free yourself, right? You could free yourself from your emotions if you just allowed yourself to be a little bit uncomfortable temporarily so that you could release. Because, your mind processes emotions, but so does your body. But anyway, I think, actually, I'm not even going to say we all know that because I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't think everybody knows that. But if you don't know that, please keep that in mind. I feel like a lot of people are really not experiencing the full scope of their emotions and experiencing the full scope of life. I'm going to be referencing TikToks because I've been also making a lot of short form content as well. So I'm going to reference a TikTok that I made on my personal account. Like I said, please follow me. So I was talking about how it feels amazing to be able to feel. Like the fact that I can feel. I spent so much of my life numbing myself. Literally anytime I would feel anything, I would numb myself. Even if it was a positive emotion, happiness, I would find a way to celebrate it. And that celebratory practice would then lead into me being numb, like literally. And same thing with negative emotions. Obviously, those are the main ones I was running from. But then it ended up just making me just numb all my emotions, both negative and positive and neutral and everything in between. With that being said, I just want to say, now that I am experiencing the full scope of my emotions, I'm honestly I feel like at first, when I first started experiencing things without anything to numb it, I was uncomfortable. I mean, duh. So now that I'm journaling again, my sleep has gotten better. My anxiety has decreased significantly. I am just feeling more at ease. I'm feeling just more, there's less racing thoughts just throughout my day and also when I'm trying to sleep. So I think I want to sit down. Let's sit down. Okay. I had to take a seat because I was getting a little lazy and I have a headache. This is like, I have a headache. My head is like pounding. But let's just get through this episode. My dog is knocked out. She went to daycare today because it was raining all day, and she is just knocked out. But yeah, I think I'm not, I've said a lot of things about this podcast. I didn't want this podcast to become like what I do for work, working in mental health, talking about mental health all day. I really wanted this podcast to really focus on my personal life and my personal experiences, but I feel like just naturally, my job title, I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed therapist in Texas, to say the least, and we're just going to leave it right there. So I didn't want like this podcast to be like a clinical podcast. I wanted it to be a life podcast. I want it to be from my experience, from my life experience. And I didn't want it to be from a solely clinical lens, but I feel like just the more I progress in my career, naturally, like the clinical lens is going to come up. But when it does come up, it'll come up. But for now, like I said, I really want it to be on a life experience because I want to be able to talk about mental health in a more casual way. That's not like, okay, guys, so let me tell you how you could process your emotions. Like, no, I'm going to give you some real ass advice and I'm going to tell you what the fuck is up. And the way I'm going to do that is by talking about my experiences and my thoughts and my opinions because I'm tired of thinking about it. So I'm just going to talk about it. Okay, let's carry on. Moving on. To feel is to live, to feel is to be human, to feel is to experience the full scope of your emotions. And I know a lot of us want to be so free of our emotions and to have this like emotional freedom, but you cannot have emotional freedom if you're scared to feel your emotions. So I'm so sorry. You can't skip to the freedom and can't like skip to like the freedom and to like the emotional liberation if you're not willing to feel your emotions. Like be so for real. My friends, y'all trying to skip to no, you got to do the work. You have to be willing to feel. And like I said before, to feel is to be human. And if you don't want to feel your emotions, that's totally fine. That's up to you, babe. I'm not here to convince you of nothing. I'm just here to share some things with you in hopes that I can connect with other people that understand, connect with other people that are going through a similar path, or just to talk and hope. Yeah. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm tired of thinking. I'm sorry. And then y'all are all just wondering why y'all are all walking around like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, all pent up, all tense, all anxious. Your body is showing you. Like I can see a lot of times, y'all, you look like you've been through it. Your body shows it. The tension in your neck, your shoulders, your body, your hips, your pelvis got y'all walking like linebackers. Got everybody walking weird because we don't want to take up space. We don't want to take up space. We were told all these things growing up. Now we're scared to take up space. Now we're all trying to undo all the things that we were told were wrong and blah, blah, blah. I know we're not going to like go too deep into it, but I understand. I'm just saying, once you are emotionally free, then the rest will follow. Once you are able to learn how to process your emotions and feel things without having to do the most, like to feel doesn't mean you have to do the most. You know what I'm saying? You can just me sitting, like just you sitting and feeling and then going on, like, you don't have to like perform an exorcism. You don't have to do too much. You just relax, just chill. Just chill. A lot of y'all are overthinking this thing. Y'all are overthinking this life. Life is not that serious, like at all. At all. Where did we learn to overthink life? I'm just so genuinely curious. And I'm asking myself this question too. Where did I learn to start overthinking life? Like life is very simple when you think about it. Why are we all overthinking it? Why are we all worried about things that don't even matter? Like some of the things that we are thinking about a lot of times don't matter. Let me get some chapstick because my lips dry. Is this recording? Okay, I'm just making sure. Because baby, I don't know, guys, whatever. Who am I? I'm just a 28-year-old woman. Yeah, I got to say woman now. I can't say that I'm a 28-year-old girly anymore because everybody's all ups in arms. They're saying that that saying that we're girls and girl dinner and calling ourselves girlies and saying that we're girly pops and all these things are infantilizing us, are something about being rooted in misogyny and conservatism. And I don't know. So guys, I thought we were all just having fun. I really liked that era of girly. I thought it was so cute, so whimsical. Did I say that word right? I don't know, whimsical. Just so chill, so cutesy. I didn't really think anything of it. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize that there was all these like social things tied to all these words. And you know, you live and you learn. Because y'all know, I am not the type of person I'm not a type of person to like, I wish I was more like well versed in like politics and like social things and things like that. I try my best. I do read on, like I'm aware, like I don't know actually. I'm probably gonna cut that because that's all a fucking lie. I'm not aware of anything of what's going on. Maybe that's a fucking problem. Maybe that's the problem. What else we gotta talk about, guys? I've been going back and forth with like if I should make these episodes longer or shorter. Definitely not shorter. It's supposed to be a podcast, so I'm thinking like at least 15, 20 minutes is good. But when I first started this podcast, they were really long. Like I think all my episodes were 30 minutes plus. Also, some exciting news. I finally got a camera, you guys. I got my first filming camera. I got the Sony ZV-1F. I don't even know, child. And I'm pretty sure it's like advertised as a vlogging camera, but you can use it for anything. But I just wanted a very simple camera that was within my budget. My budget was under $500, and literally this camera is usually priced at $500, but it was on sale at Best Buy for $100 off. So I paid, stupid move. Ugh. So I paid $400 for it. So I think that was a pretty good steal. And then plus, I feel like all the accessories that I had to get for it anyway, like the tripod, screen protector, camera case, mics and stuff. And I already had mics, but I wanted to get like a new specific one that I just wanted. Lights and et cetera and stuff kind of like averaged out to almost $100 anyway. So I stayed within my budget, which is something that I struggle with. I'm glad like I actually stayed within my budget. Never thought I'd see the day. Speaking of budget, money and money management and like emotional spending, and just want to talk more about those things and things that have helped me. I am like, this is a new thing for me. So I'm not an expert in this by any means. I'm an expert in nothing. I am not an expert in anything. All I'm an expert is in myself. And that is constantly wavering because there are days I'm like, I know myself pretty well. And then there's other days where I'm like, I don't know who I am or what's going on. Help me, please. SOS. So really all I got, you guys. So yeah, I'm really excited to have a camera, and it's just going, I don't know, I feel like it's just making everything so real now, and I'm so excited. And it's so funny because I was just literally thinking about taking a break from visuals and just focusing on the audio part of the podcast, because I was just so overwhelmed with the recording and trying to record on my phone. It was just like too much, and I didn't really like recording on my phone. I like having a camera. I like being able to have, I don't even know where my phone is. I was gonna say I like being able to have my phone nearby. I don't even know where it is. Oh my goodness. But anytime my dad texts me, it's always so dramatic and so scary. He said, please, can you call me if you have time? I have something to talk to you about. Thanks. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what do you have to talk to me about? Now I'm scared. Now I'm anxious. Now I feel like I have to end this video. And yeah. I've also noticed I have this habit of like pulling my hair whenever. I think it's just like, I'm always like, anxious that my hair is like shrinking. So I'm always like, unconsciously just like picking at it and making sure it's like fully like whatever. But let's end this episode. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you very, very soon. Thank you guys for listening to the Tired of Thinking podcast. Again, I'm your host, Golden Girl. I will link all my socials and everything down below, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.